Hello, everybody. How y'all doing? Welcome to my channel, a happy from darkness to light radio podcast, and then also my podcast, um, the old you versus new you, and from darkness to light is not only on my radio podcast on Spreaker.com, it is also on my YouTube channel as well. And my name, of course, is Asha Mariama. I appreciate you guys for joining me for this episode. Some of y'all know me from my other name, but I wanted to come on here today. And before we get started, please hit the like, subscribe, and notification button on YouTube. And also for you guys on Facebook, please hit the like button and comment as well. And hit the notification button so you can receive notifications of my videos. A little about me. I'm a certified recovery, healing, and recovery coach. That's all about helping people on my path and their journeys to a new and better you through self discovery. I also deal with addiction as well and trying to help people to overcome their addictions to where they don't go back to those addictions. My goal as a coach is not only just to help people to overcome what they've been through, but also to help people to remain not addicted to those drugs, to remain not addicted to the alcohol, the codependency, the gambling, the sex addictions, the addictions to being perfect, the addiction to being in relationships, the addictions to wanting to be loved, liked, appreciated, valued, wanted, needed to be a part of something, to be validated, to be approved of, to be accepted, for somebody to know your worth, proving something to people, and also being Captain Save a Hoes, Build a Bears, Build a Dolls, seat fillers, and people pleasers as well. Now, the reason y'all can't see me on camera is because the computer that I have currently is apparently not meant for content creating. So that is a main and primary reason why I don't normally use it. But I'm also going to do my podcast on Spreaker.com as well. And that way I can go ahead on and do it there as well. But for those of y'all who are going to be listening on my Spreaker.com, just understand I'm doing this from my computer, because normally I would do it from the vocal part of it, but because I'm putting it on my actual visual channels as well, that's why it may sound a little bit different than it would if I was doing it from my actual vocals and everything. Because the way I go about it, as far as the video part, is completely different than the way I would do it if I was just doing it vocally. So I just want to make sure y'all understand that. But you can also hear my podcast on iHeartRadio, Spotify. You can also hear it on Amazon, Google. You can also hear it on Cashbox and multiple other streaming companies as well. And if you guys like the commentary and you want to be a guest on my podcast, if you just want to send me a letter saying how my podcast helped you on your healing and recovery journeys and your addictions, and you just want to sponsor my channel, please go to asha.mariama01@gmail.com. That's asha.mariama01@gmail.com. Now, today's topic is all about letting go of the old version of you to become a new and better version of you. Now, let me explain what made me come to this topic. This topic is very important to me because I am currently going through it. So this isn't just something I'm talking about just to talk about it. This is something that I'm going through because I'm in the last stage of it. I went from isolation to hibernation to a cocoon stage. So I'm going to talk about this from past to present to future. So I'm going to go through all three of these stages because that's exactly what it is. It's past, present, and future. So the past version of you is the isolation stage because you got to deal with the past and leave it behind forever. It cannot be something that you continue to let impact and affect you, because if you do, it will just make things worse. So if you're going to let it go, then let it go completely. If you're going to let go of whatever feelings you have towards somebody, then you need to let it go completely. You can't keep holding on to these feelings and holding on to these emotions that are not helping you at all. They're not making things better for your present, and they're not making things better for your future. So if you're going to move on from it, then you need to move on from it. If you're going to let it go, then please, for the love of God, let it go. Because if you don't, the only thing that's going to happen is it will continue to follow you. It will continue to impact. It will continue to affect your life, and it will continue to make things worse. So when you are in this healing journey, this recovery journey, and you're trying to be better, then I need people to understand that the new version of you cannot keep going through the same things over and over and over again. You can't continue doing the same things you did before because they don't work for you. And every time you've done it, it's never ended well. Never ended well. No matter how many ways you've done it, no matter how many times you've done it, it don't end well. Just like the way you go about dating. If you date the same way, it ain't never going to work. You're going to keep dating the same type of people. If you lower yourself, you're going to continue bringing people in your world that ain't going to do nothing but use and take advantage of, manipulate, and bamboozle you. That is all that they're going to do. If you don't have self-esteem, then people are going to treat you any kind of way. If you don't believe in yourself, then you will never accomplish and you will never achieve anything. You will never get anything done if you don't change the way you go about things. You have to. You got to change. Sometimes it's not about everybody else changing. You have to change. Because when you change, either the people around you are going to accept that new change or they won't. But either way it go, you got to be the one to say, you know what? I am making this change. You the one that got to say, I am getting away from all of these people, and you're going to continuously break these chains. The whole point of the new version of you is to elevate, to grow, and evolve to the best version of you. And you cannot do that if you are still holding on to what was. If you're still holding on to the coulda, shoulda, wouldas. If you're still trying to stay in an environment that is bad for you. So with the isolation stage, that is when something happens where it's just you, whether it be you losing everything, hitting rock bottom, whether it be having an epiphany, whether one day you just wake up in the morning and you're just like, I just can't do this no more. But whatever the reason is, it's something that happened. Or God just pulling you from the world, pulling you from the situation. But primarily it's the higher power. The higher power is going to make you sit down. The higher power is going to make you have to be in isolation. Every person in the Bible had a period where they were in isolation. Every person has a period where they will be alone, where they will be crucified, where everything gonna be stripped of them, or something gonna happen that's gonna be negative, that is going to forever change your life. The problem is, for some people, it still doesn't change them. They will continue to do the same things over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, versus saying, you know what, let me break these chains. Let me break out of this bondage. Let me escape from this cage that I'm in. No, you're going right back into it. So a good example of this would be when Moses went and God chose him to take the Israelites out of Egypt. And when he said, God, why do you choose me? I don't think that I can do this. Well, guess what? If God didn't think he could, God would never chose him. God chose Moses for a reason. God chose every person he chose to lead his people for a reason. There was a reason he chose Mary to birth Jesus. But either way it go, that was something that he made the choice to do. So in the end, the fact that you got people out here that are sitting up here and making you miss out on your destiny, people that are benefiting off what you are capable of, the fact that you got people out here that are, for example, I have somebody coming on my platform and they said something about something that I had said. And mind you, I stand on it. And I stand on what I said. In the end, like I said, people will say and do things and then turn around and backpedal when they get caught. There are people out here that don't want to deal with consequences, repercussions, and karma. And they don't care about who they affect. They don't care who they impact. And they certainly do not care about who they hurt. And they don't. You got people out here that are keeping people from their dreams by breaking their self-esteem, self-worth, and self-value. Basically making it so you have no respect for yourself. Making it so everything you do is catered to other people. Matter of fact, I think a good 90% of people are not who they truly are. A good 90% people is whoever everybody else said they should be. And there are some people, a good 10%, that are actually trying to be who they're choosing to be later on in life. You have a lot of people out here that are trying to bring people down, that claim they got your back, and they don't. A lot of people that are stealing from people, that are bamboozling, leading people astray. So if you don't let go of what was, you cannot focus on what is. You cannot focus on what will be. And you don't know what God has in store for you. So when you're still doing the same things all day, every day, and you're not trying to improve yourself and you're not trying to better yourself, then guess what? You will end up being stuck. So let me give you an example. I woke up 8 o'clock it was 7 something this morning. Woke up at 7 something this morning. I'm thinking that it's about 9, 10 o'clock. It's 7 something in the morning. Now, mind you, I laid in bed and just laid there, didn't get up. And I ended up, going and getting something, just laying in bed. And I was, looking at clothes. And I was looking at Shein, and I was looking at Temu. And I was looking at some outfits that I want to wear home. And I said, you know what? I'm going to go with different looks, something a little bit different than what I'm used to. And so that's what I decided. So I got some stuff in some containers that I got to go through and see what I can wear and what I can't wear. And that's one of my goals when I get there. That's one of the first things that I'm doing that weekend, is making sure that I can wear whatever it is that's in there. That's absolutely one of my goals. Secondly, one of my goals is to see what shoes I can wear, because my feet used to be very, very swollen. They're not swollen anymore. So they are getting a little bit better. So that's a good thing. So when people think that when you lose weight, for example, that you losing weight means that you're going to be healthier. No, that's not true. Just because you lose weight does not mean you're healthier. It just means you're smaller. It just means that you can wear all the clothes that you could probably never thought in a million years that you'd be able to wear, but it doesn't mean you're healthy. Being healthy is not about your weight. Being healthy is about mental health, psychological health, emotional health, spiritual health, internal and external health. It's also about what you consume, what you acknowledge, what your 5 senses bring to you, your intellect, knowledge, and education, weighing pros and cons, your morals, values, principles, and ethics, and also your critical thinking, common sense, and common judgment, but also your consequences and repercussions and karma based on the actions, behavior, choices, and decisions that you do. So for a lot of people to sit up here and think that you being healthy is based upon society's standards of health and wellness will be a lie, because here's the kicker to it all. Is the food that we're eating actually healthy for you? Is it really good for you? Is it pure? Is there no extra chemicals, no extra anything on it? The answer is no. Just like when you have sex with somebody, you don't know who else they're having sex with. You don't know. So the fact that you got people out here that are sitting up here thinking that your health and wellness is based on, your physical appearance, that has nothing to do with everything else. Okay. So when it comes to the old you versus the new you have to completely let go of the negative things, the negative habits, the negative feelings that not only you have about yourself, but also how you have about others. You also got to look at your past experiences and how you dealt with romantic relationships, how you deal with your family, how you deal with your friends, how you deal with coworkers, how you deal with strangers. But either way it go, you got to figure that part out. And you just can't sit up here and say that because I'm attracted to somebody that I'm going to go about it the same way I used to. So let me give you a good example of this. Okay. There was somebody that at one time, I ain't gonna say one time, that I was interested in. And the old me probably would have tried to bend over backwards. The old version of me would have done all these things, not only sexually, but also financially, to try to get him to love me. I would try to, just accept the fact that he's out here with other women, and I would be okay with that. But what I learned from my past is that when it comes with friends with benefits, it don't benefit me. When I was having sex with men, I felt like I was the one that was giving more than what I was getting from that. I'm the one doing all of these things in the bedroom, trying to cater to these people. I'm up here giving them money. I'm up here being faithful. I'm the one not out here with nobody. And these people are out here with multiple women. So you have to understand the person I am now is like the minute you say something negative, then that right there tells me you're not interested in me. That right there tells me that I'm not your person. When I look on your social media and I see the women that you date, when you tell me at one time that you give gifts and you do all of these things, but yet since I've known you, you haven't done none of those things. We have not went out nowhere. You don't spend time with me. Why would I have sex with you? Why would I do that? Because what it says to me, based on my past experience, it says to me, I am just your seat filler. I'm just the person that when nobody else is available, that's when you want me. That's when you want to deal with me. Well, the new part of me is like, no. Why am I going to do that to myself? So you have to understand, the old version of you should only come up when you look at things that seem familiar to you. And then you have to ask yourself, am I going to do what I did before, or am I going to do something different? That's what you got to ask yourself. Recovery is you have to accept and take accountability the things that not only you have done to somebody, but what you allow people to do to you and what you are willing to accept. If somebody really like you, and I'm being real here, they will tell you how they feel about you easily. In their actions, you would see they genuinely like you. But if they don't show you that and they don't tell you that, you don't know which way you're supposed to go. You're not going to be making an effort for someone that you don't even know feels any way towards you. So I just want people to, Understand? I get it. I really do. So don't get me wrong. The one thing about the old version of you is that you think by doing all of these things that this person is going to change and become this version of them that you want them to be when they're just not going to. So, like I said, if somebody tells you or says something negative, then the only thing you can do is accept it and you do nothing. Because why are you going to do something for somebody that clearly said something negative about you? You wouldn't. But a lot of us, we overlook those things that are being said behind our backs. We're overlooking that these people really don't like us at all. They're just around us for whatever reason. And so what I would say to my clients is when we go over these relationships, when it comes to your family, when it comes to your friends, when it comes to your job, when it comes to people you don't know, or even romantic relationships, you're going to find that a lot of these people just don't like you, and they don't. And that's just it on that. I mean, it just is what it is. So again, the fact that you are up here trying to, you know, get somebody to love you that doesn't, if that person can't tell you how they feel about you, that means they feel nothing for you. And all you're doing is wasting space. All you're doing is wasting time. When there is somebody else that want to take you out, that want to get to know you. And I'm not saying that the person that want to spend time with you is your person either. But the problem is a lot of people have to settle because of what they look like. That they have to take whatever person comes around them, regardless of how they are treated. And that's what I went through. You know, dating guys that I probably would have never dated. But because if I wouldn't have, I probably would have been alone. But now I think about it, I wish I would have just decided to be alone. But again, it's the same thing. So now it's like, I'm not settling. So if you're a good person and you're the new version of yourself, you are no longer going to settle for the things you used to settle for because you know you deserve better. So being that you deserve better, you're going to be like, you know what? No, I'm not settling. I deserve better. I deserve to be with somebody that really care about me. I deserve to be with somebody that really want to take me out. I deserve to be with somebody that really, when we're having sex, that is mutual, that there's a connection there. Not being some prostitute, not being your just a notch on your belt or just an option because the female you actually want is not available. When I'm having sex with you, I feel like that you're rushing because you got something to do. No. So when you have non-negotiables, you have non-negotiables. And you have right to those non-negotiables. You have the right to say, I want a man that makes me feel when I have sex with them like I can just breathe. You want when you're intimate with someone that there is a connection there. That you're not having another female as far as soul ties or any of that all up in you. You don't want that. You don't want somebody to treat you like a prostitute or treat you like some type of sex worker or whatever you want to call it. You want to be treated as someone that looks at you as a wife. You want respect. So the one thing about a new version of yourself, respect is going to weigh more heavily than love because respect is what leads to love, whether or not that person like you or not. So again, it's not about love. It's about whether you like and respect me. And that's the thing. So I just want people to understand that I completely understand what is going on. So I get it. I get it. And I completely understand. So in the end, when it comes to that old version of you, it will dictate the new version in so many different ways. But if you don't change and you don't be better, then you will continuously continue dealing with the same type of people. And you'll be dealing with people that are going to keep treating you the same type of way. And you deserve better. You do. So don't let anybody make you feel like your growth and your development is going to be stopped because of other people. Don't let nobody tell you that your dreams are not going to happen. Continue working at it. Continue working for it. And even though you may not be making money right now, even though you might not be successful right this minute, it will happen for you. The love of your life is going to come. You're going to meet that person that's going to be the right person. So in the end, it may not happen right this second. It may not happen right now. But in the end, the right person will come along. That person that is for you will be for you. Point blank, period. So don't think that your person's not out there. Don't think your group of friends is not out there, or your dreams are not going to happen. Just continue to do them. Because I'm a living testament of that. I'm a living testament of, dreams happen if you really want them to. Don't let nobody make you feel less than what you are. Don't let nobody make you feel like that you're not deserving, because you are very much deserving. But if you don't let go of the past, and you don't let go of those past insecurities and the things that are causing your anxiety, if you keep letting people tell you what your dreams are and what your goals are, if you continue to go after people that, number one, are never attracted to you, two, they're not interested in you, or they're messing with other women, then those are not your people. In the end, going and chasing after people is not what God wants you to do. If you're a godly person, you ain't supposed to be chasing after nobody. No way. And that's the one thing as a coach that I want people to understand. I know we all want things, we all desire things, but we also have to be realistic. If that person is not interested in you, then that is not your person. If that person don't spend time with you and they don't show you that you mean something to them and that you matter, then that's not your person. If that person is still out here with other people, then that's definitely not your person. That's not the person that's for you. The person that is for you will be only onto you, and you will be only onto them. And there's no point of lying to yourself and making yourself believe that somebody wants you and they don't. But then again, they can't get mad at you because you all of a sudden now are accepting them. And that's what some people do. They don't like the fact that you accept the fact this person don't want you. And you're like, okay, they don't want me. Nothing I can do about it. All I can do is just accept it and say, hey. So now for me, that's where I'm at right now when it comes to relationships now. The people that don't accept me, it's fine. The people that reject me, it's fine. I'm not sitting around crying about it. At the end, it's not worth it. Those are just not my people. I know that my friends, the people that's going to be in my life, are going to be small. But like I said, I am no longer taking on other people's problems and other people's situations. I'm no longer chasing at the men that don't want me. I'm no longer settling. Like I said, I know I'm a good woman. I know what I'm capable of. And if men don't want to see that, then hey, that's okay too. They don't have to. In the end, I know what my worth is. I know what my value is. And that is what's important more than anything. So stop worrying about other people and what they think and what they have to say. Stop worrying about the past and what you went through. The point is not to go through it now in the new version of yourself. Not continuously making the same mistakes. Continuously allowing people to do and treat you any kind of way, because you don't have to go through that. And you don't. And that's why I created this podcast as a safe space to be able to come out of the darkness, come out of the negativity. And that's what it's about for me anyway. So I get the fact that for a lot of you, you want to be in love, you want marriage, you want children, but the question is, are you willing to give up and do what's necessary to make these relationships work? Because you do have to give up something. You do have to sacrifice something. And if you're not going to do that, then there's no point. So, like I said, I get it and I understand it. I do. So, what I will say is, we all have our battles to go through. We all have things that we have to endure. And that's it. So, like I said, people are going to always prejudge people. People are going to miss out on good people because of the way they judge people. And unfortunately, that is what happens. But what I will say is, you never know who you will encounter. You will never know who you will meet that might change your life. I never know who may hear this podcast and say, I love the podcast and I would love to make it syndicated. And that's the thing, when it becomes syndicated, then it will be perfect. But I didn't make this podcast to make it perfect. Because if it was syndicated, yeah, it probably would be edited. It probably would be done differently. But being that it's not, it's about being real and raw. And I don't want to make my podcast not real. I want to make it where it is very, very, real. So I don't want nobody thinking that, you have to be perfect or you have to be something that you're not, because you don't. In the end, just be you. Be the person you want to be. Do the things you want to do. Live your dreams. It's one thing when you were, 18, because it was about living up to your parents' expectations. But I always recommend at the age of 18, go get therapy. Deal with your mommy, daddy, child situations before you get into adulthood. Don't worry about whether you're alone or whether you're with somebody. Build something. If you're alone, enjoy a single life. Enjoy going out, traveling, doing things, because you will meet great people. And then eventually, as you're traveling, which I wish I would have done, you will find your tribe when you travel. And when you find your tribe, then you can say, you know what? This is where I need to be. It's just like when we do anything as far as coaching. It's about us putting our stuff out there, and whoever will see it, whoever will listen to it, they will. You will find your tribe. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to go through all of this, because everybody that comes doesn't mean that they're your tribe, especially if you went looking for them. But if you put it out there and you do it, what I'm doing now, imagine what would happen if I had, 2,000-3,000 people, 10,000, 20,000 people hearing me say the same thing on TED one day. Or my book that I'm writing ends up becoming a New York Times bestseller. Oprah calls me and said, I read your book. It was so, enlightful about healing and recovery. So again, you never know. You just putting something in the universe, and then you're just continuing that. And as you continue it and you put it out there and somebody else read it, all it takes is word of mouth. And then once that happens, that's it. So that being said, I want to thank y'all for joining me for this episode. I appreciate y'all. I'm your host, Goddess Asha Mariama. I appreciate y'all so much. And without y'all, there is no me. I'd be nothing without y'all. And until next week, I will see y'all then. But in conclusion to it all, before I go, I just want to say thank you to all of y'all who listen to my podcast, perfect or not. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Y'all been holding me down. And without y'all, there is no me. I'll be nothing without y'all. But we're going to continue on these journeys of imperfection and these journeys of overcoming darkness to light and coming out of the rabbit hole and letting go of what was and focusing on what will be and focusing on the new versions of ourselves. And we will continue to do that every week. So with that being said, I will see y'all next time. Bye, y'all.